What's she doing?
Well, so she's actually working on a research project trying to find the effects of climate change on our Hine dragonfly. Are you familiar with the Hine dragonfly?
Oh, a little bit. Can you tell me more?
Yeah. So we have these Hine dragonfly. They're these big, beautiful, black-bodied, green emerald-eyed dragonflies. And they're really important here at the Ridges Sanctuary because we have the largest breeding population of them. They're the only dragonfly on this federally endangered species list. So really what we need to do is protect and preserve the habitats that they depend on so that we can have them, and also habitats that we depend on as well.
Oh, can you tell me more about their habitat?
Yeah, absolutely. So behind us we have the swale, and this is where they spend actually 5 years of their life. So before they become an adult, they're actually in their nymph stage, and in that stage they spend up to 5 years in these swales. And that's important because they really depend on these swales for survival. They need really cool water. They need it to be shallow and slow moving, which we have here. So without protecting these habitats, we're really not helping this dragonfly survival success.
So just kind of a little bit more about climate change. As we burn these fossil fuels, such as coal, oil, and natural gas, we are increasing the amount of CO2 that's in the atmosphere. And the atmosphere is like this blanket. And what happens is as we add more CO2 to the atmosphere, we're thickening this blanket. And as that blanket gets thicker, it reduces the amount of heat, excess heat that can get released from the atmosphere. So we have all this heat being trapped underneath this blanket. So it's this blanketing effect. And as we increase these temperatures in the atmosphere and on Earth, we're kind of seeing the temperatures above our swales being increased as well as the water temperatures. So if we have these climate changes, we are reducing the ability for the dragonflies to have proper development because they don't have that cool, shallow, slow-moving water that they depend on in their larval stage.
Yeah, but with all these trees around eating up the carbon dioxide, how does that, affect us?
And that's a very good question. We get that a lot. And while it is important to know that these trees and other plants do consume CO2, it's a natural process. As we burn these fossil fuels, we're adding much more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere than they can consume. We call this rampant CO2. So there's just an excess of CO2 in the atmosphere, and there's too much of it, and it's getting out of control.
So I see how climate change affects the dragonfly, but how does it affect us?
Yeah, so actually these wetland habitats are really important for us as well. We're in Door County, we have these big bodies of water surrounding us, but all of our drinking water actually comes from the ground, and these wetland habitats act as the last defense and barrier between the surface and the groundwater so that we can have the best drinking water possible.
Wow. So what can we do about this?
Good question. So the ultimate goal is to use less fossil fuels. So whether it's carpooling, riding your bike to work, looking into some green organizations in your community, all those things together individually can really help reduce carbon dioxide emissions, which in return will help our dragonfly.